Kathy here. It is the end of May and we've got all kinds of things in bloom. So I think it's a great day to take a walk in the garden and see what we can find. We'll start out in the front yard, although I did show you some of these plants in my last video. But if you watch the last one, you'll see that so many of the Siberian iris have now started to bloom. Oh gee, the bird bath water looks a little brown, but it's the oak tassels. They fall in and they turn everything into a brown mess. Hopefully they're almost done. And here's the Percy Wiseman rhododendron that I showed you last time, and it's almost done too. But the summer snowflake by Burnham is really going strong right now. Let's take a walk across the driveway. We've got several Kusa Dogwoods along here, and they are going to be beautiful this year. Not blooming yet, but look how many buds are. They're not buds anymore, they're open, but you can see the bracts, which right now are kind of a lime green color, but they will turn much larger and pure white in no time. And the rhododendron are all in bloom right now. And of course, we have very big mature rhododendrons, so lots of flower power. The bees really like them too. Let's take a look at how some of the hydrangea are faring. They're not blooming yet, but wow, we've got some great buds going. These are tiny tough stuff, and look at how many flower buds are on them. This is a mountain hydrangea, and it's going to have lace cap flowers. I showed pruning these two in one of my pruning videos, but you can see they're really getting ready to go. I can't wait to see that. So here we have a really nice orange dream Japanese maple. Again, a very mature one. And tucked underneath, there is a little Percy Wiseman rhododendron, which is pretty much done. But look at the Bayakova geranium. I think these are just lovely. These only flower in the spring, unlike the Roseanne geranium that just keeps going all summer, but they're very special when they are in bloom. And behind the orange dream, we have another rhododendron in bloom. Now this one has not opened up quite as much as some of the others on the property right now, but I do like the color combo between that very purple flower and the orange dream. In fact, the buds are a very dark purple, and the flowers are a little bit lighter. Very pretty though. And some conocloa grass and some more geranium in bloom underneath it. A little more of that Bayakova. On the opposite side of the path, we have a very nice wolf-eye dogwood here, which has a really pretty variegated leaf, and it has a white flower, very similar to the Cornus Kusa. Underneath it is variegated solemn seal, and you can see where we've got some of those little flowers hanging down. Oh, and here comes Gizmo. This is one of the hydrangea that I showed you in my pruning video, and it has some nice flower buds starting. This one's an Invincible Spirit, and right next to it is a Dutia. This one's called Chardonnay Pearls. It has a very sort of lime colored leaf, very light color and white flowers. Surrounding it, lots of foxglove. And we are going to have quite the foxglove show this year. I have literally hundreds of them in the garden. Now as we come along, here we are in front of the double play Doozy Spyhea, which I have high hopes for. Now this isn't quite in bloom yet, but you can see it has some nice buds. It has a very deep maroon sort of flower. Behind it, we have some rainbow Coaway, also in bloom, although the Coaway she'll be finishing up pretty soon. Now here's a very pretty rhododendron. Starting to pass a little bit actually. This is one that we purchased at Leias Garden. They do dig up the smaller azaleas and rhododendron and offer them for sale. And we got this one a couple of years back. Now what's growing in the middle of this is actually something my mother always called Chinese pennies. And you can see the seed pods are very interesting, and they are something that you can pick later in the season and have branches of them. I'll show you what that looks like. Now here's something I really like. This is a golden chain tree, a laburnum, and it has some beautiful chains hanging off of it this year. These pendulous yellow flowers, really quite lovely. And behind it, you can see some more rhododendron in bloom. These are very large plants. They're at least 10 feet tall. And here is some more rhododendron in bloom, another variety. Again, beautiful big plants. And below them, some Japanese painted fern and ghost fern, which make a really nice accent along the stone wall. Now if we walk along the front of the crescent bed, a lot of the perennials are not getting started yet, but I do want to show you this large Invincible spirit hydrangea. This is another one that we pruned together earlier in the season. And it has tons and tons of nice flower buds, all at the tips of the new growth. And around the corner, here's one that I really like. This is a Sonic Bloom Weigela. Some great flower color there. It won't be long before many of the other things in this garden are in bloom, but we're only going to concentrate on the things that are blooming today. And in the front part of the crescent bed, one of the things that's blooming beautifully right now is this Yuki cherry blossom Dutia. Such a beautiful shrub. And deer resistant too, which is wonderful. And of course we have to check out the lilac in bloom. This is a Paladin Korean lilac. It has a very, very small leaf, and is incredibly fragrant. You can smell these flowers all the way across the garden. These candy corn Spyhea are looking lovely, and they are surrounded by bleeding heart. But the bleeding heart is starting to pass a little bit at this point. But you can see we've got quite the colony of it going here. It started with maybe 3 plants. Now I've got probably 3 dozen. But the deer don't touch them, and they're a nice backdrop for other things. I also think we are going to have an amazing foxglove display this year. All of it looks beautiful and healthy and wonderful. There's another wolf-eye dogwood here. We really have to start thinking about taking these out of the supports. The deer went after them like crazy when they were first planted, so we put these fences around them. But I think it's getting to be near time to remove them. Now on the other side of this bed, you can see that we have my Monae Oila in bloom, as well as Ogon grass as a ground cover. And what I'm happy about is that the larger my Monae here is one of the original ones. These others are ones that were transplanted from other parts in the yard as much smaller plants. 2 of them, well, one of them 2 years ago, 2 of them last year, and they're doing just fine. You can see a little bit of reversion on this plant, and I think I may make a video just about that, because there are quite a few plants that do that. You'll see a branch that just doesn't look like the others. Well, I still have some cleanup to do in this part of the garden, but these bearded iris are looking absolutely wonderful. Some very pretty white. And some with a very purple tone to them. But they're such a graceful flower. And back here behind the lion's mane maple, more lovely rhododendron in bloom. Now here we are at Leias Garden, and Gizmo is here skulking around. Hi, Gizmo. Oh, you can tell he's been rolling in the dirt. But this garden is one that Tom and I built just last spring. And it's just amazing how well it's done, how big the plants have gotten. We transplanted all kinds of things into it. And I'll put a link to that video where we show step by step what we did. Here we have some lovely peonies. Now they're not in bloom yet, but wow. Could you have any more buds? Can't wait to see what that's going to look like. Hi, Gizmo. You saying hi? Yeah. We also have some of the sunburst boxwood in here. This garden was designed to be deer resistant, and as we're finding things that maybe aren't quite as deer resistant, we'll be taking them out. We have some very nice of the Japanese water iris here in various colors. And some more peonies. Again, the buds look fabulous. And they've got ants on them. Don't worry about that. All the ants are doing is sort of farming some of the sugary liquid that is on those buds, not really doing any harm. Some of what is in bloom in here is the Nepida. These were so tiny when we put them in, and they look so great now. Next to it is the lamb's ear. the Helen von Stein. And then we have some Roseanne geranium coming up. Again, something that'll be blooming soon. Behind that is Serendipity Allium. And we do have Foxglove coming up all through it. Now these dwarf butterfly bushes, this is the blue one, did so well over the winter. Very, very happy with them. And we've repeated some of the things. As you can see, more Nepida, more of the lamb's ear. But look at this iris. This is more of the bearded iris. How pretty is that? Tucked inside here, some leucanthemum, some Shasta daisy, some sedum. Now I know that this sedum, this is Autumn Joy, is not necessarily deer proof. Usually when they're very small, they go after them. If you can get them to the point where they're a little bigger, they tend to leave them alone. But salvia is definitely something that the deer don't go after, and this is caradonna. Behind it, there's some bee balm, another very deer resistant plant, as well as some Russian sage. So I think we're going to be doing well. The other thing that I'm so thrilled that came back, we found these late in the season, planted them, and they came up very, very late compared to some of the other plants. This is a Caryopteris called Snow Fairy, and I'm just thrilled with this plant. It's variegated. It blooms with blue flowers later in the season. It's going to be very shrubby. It'll probably be 3 times this size when it completely grows out. And then, of course, Foxglove. And again, we've repeated some things on the other side. A different type of bee balm here. Some nice salvia. Some caradonna. This one I'm going to have to go grab the tag and see what it was. It looks like that Wedgwood blue, the one that's white and blue, but I'm not sure that's actually its name, so I'll look it up. And again, more of the Roseanne geranium, more of the Serendipity allium. We're also waiting on blooms in the Moai bed, but there's going to be a lot to see and not too long. Tall garden flock, Secondia, a big, big stand of Astilbe here. But some of what is blooming at this point is the mountain bluet. And this sort of comes up wherever it wants, and I let it. It recedes. But another one with a beautiful flower. And in the back, lots of foxglove and roses. The roses are forming buds at this point. Should be blooming. I would say another couple of weeks we'll start to see blooms. And then this is just me panning over the lower Moai bed. I have a couple of holes in there, things that I removed some things, and now I have space for some new things. But in this area with the fence, I don't worry so much about it being deer resistant, and I also do use deer spray, so I can plant pretty much anything I want in here. This is on the edge of our woods walk, and you can see that there's coastal Coaway behind and some nice epimedium. And more beautiful rhododendron. I hope you enjoyed our little walk today, and if you enjoy this kind of content, by all means, please hit the like button and perhaps consider subscribing. In the meantime, have a wonderful day in the garden.